Hi everyone, my name is Alexander and I am a Dutch knife maker. But ever since I was a small child, I was involved in my family business of growing and fishing oysters. Our family has been fishing oysters since 1873 or something like that. So we have a well-known history in it. Only I didn't like fishing that much. I was more of a designer and engineer. So I started to study that. But I brought back all that experience and I developed my own oyster knife a couple of years ago. Ever since I started, I've always sold my knife I had. I always tried to make one for myself, and it was always needed for a customer or someone to help someone out. So I still walk around with my old prototype, and like the very old prototype. So this time I'm going to make a new one for myself, and I'm going to make it fancy. So I have a new design, which is a bit sleeker, and Damasteel. This is gonna be great. So Damasteel is a very special steel. There are actually two steels that are forge welded together, and you can see all these patterns inside the steel. That's when they forge them together and they twist it and they fold it over and they twist it, and it's like a steel origami. And when you put the steel in acid, one of the steels will become black and the other will become silver. So this is a stainless steel and it's going to be perfect to make a really fancy oyster knife out of. I finished shaping the blade. Now I'm gonna send it over to heat treatment in England. I used my belt grinder and then I did with the Dremel, so everything is clear in the edges. But yeah, you can see the Damasteel a bit, and especially with the bluing, I like it. Hi everyone, it's been at least 3 months that I last did something about this oyster knife. And I have to say a great shout out to Barment International Tailor Steels. My package with Damasteel got lost by the post. So that's super annoying. And Barment, they made a new one out of my design. They heat treated it and then they shipped it back for free. That, people, that's customer service. So thank you very much, Richard. So I've been looking for a while, but I finally found a piece of wood that I want to use on this knife. I bought it on eBay like 3 years ago, and I went through my boxes and I all of a sudden find it, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a good fit to this Damasteel oyster knife. And I'm gonna fix it with these bolts that I also use for my folding knives. The wall thickness of the bottom needs to be 2 mm thick, and I measured that out with 2 washers, and it should be at exactly the end of my drill press. It should be 2 mm of wall thickness left, so exciting. Hopefully I will not screw up this nice piece of wood. So that worked out great actually. So I can already screw the handles to the blade. Here it already is screwed together. So now I'm gonna draw the handle shape onto it and saw it with the band saw. Monday morning in January at 7 o'clock in the morning, It's bloody cold, it's around 1 or 2 degrees. I'm like, oh, I could still be laying in bed, but you know, I'm working through it. That's what they call the dip. Thanks for the book, Sebastian. It's really helpful so far. So I'm just gonna keep pushing on because I really think it's worth pursuing. So last week let me focus on the knife, fitted the knife to the steel like this, and then now I'm gonna shape the handles, sand them up, make them all pretty, oil them already, then finish the blade and put them together with some glue. But yeah, shaping handles like this, I've never done it before. Rough grinding done, it's definitely a beautiful piece of wood. Hope I don't break it because it seems to be quite brittle. I'm now sanding the handles and it's working out quite well. So I have one here and the other one's here. I'm now at 800 grit. I need to go on to 2000. But one of the fears I had that it was going to be very difficult to match both sides of the handles up. But it's actually quite easy because you just do the same motions again and again. And apparently it comes out symmetrically, so that was a very nice convenience. So finished up to 2000 and then I'm oiling these beautiful handles, but just the details in the wood, it's incredible. I should buy more expensive wood more often. I'm in a bit of a different spot, better lighting, but just look at all the lines and details in this wood. So it's now sanded up to 2000 and now I'm going to have to do a very risky thing, which is make a notch right here. I made one in the design. It's very small in real life, but I still want to go on with it because then you'll have a natural place to place your thumb. So wish me luck. I actually have to get to work, but seriously, on a moment like this is the linseed oil. Now wipe it all down. Oh, this wood is beautiful. You'll get a close up. I'm really happy with how it turned out. In CAD it's so easy, you say like, yeah, I want to swatch here, and then you design it. But then in real life you still have to grind it. Hi everyone, so it's finally time. I'm going to etch the blade. It's right over here. And the first step will be the greasing, so I'll be using Windex for this. So hopefully it goes well. I'm quite nervous about this. So there you have it, the oyster knife. Couldn't speak that much because I was etching in my backyard, and I wouldn't want my neighbors to think I was some kind of crazy knife maker or something like that. So was a bit silent and it just went my way. It's a new neighborhood and the hedges aren't fully grown yet, but that'll come. But yeah, the knife, I really like it. It has some spots, to be honest. Like I forgot to clean the bottom up here. So when you do the other side, it's much more contoured with all the black lines, and here it isn't. So that's a bit of a shame, but I don't think I can fix it now. But overall, for the first time working with Damasteel, really pleased with it. So I'm now gonna buff this up with 2000 grit. then glue the handles, give it a final bit of oil, and then continue working on the case. Because when you have a stellar knife like this, you need to have a proper packaging. On the way back from my holiday last October, it's now February by the way, we stopped by Sebastian Steller from Lake Constance Canoes. We made this beautiful box for the knife. He has a beautiful CNC router. He uses it to make parts for his canoe, and it will fit the knife perfectly. So I have to glue in 2 magnets here. It will snap together like this. Put a sleeve around it, and we have like a nice high-end box design. Small, slim, fitting, with all this nice textured milling inside. If the camera wants to focus. Yeah. Sleek, right? So a few episodes back I actually joked about the American Designs cooking show, but today we're really going to cook oysters in a very special way, and it's called oysters au gratin, which is oysters with cheese out of the oven, and it's really tasty. So my nephew Vincent, he fished oysters. They're still in the family business, and they're doing great stuff, and we have some beautiful oysters which we are going to pry open with the Damasteel oyster knife, which I haven't tested before yet. So very exciting. So for opening oysters like this, I wear these special gloves. They're made from Kevlar. And they also have a handkerchief to fold the oyster in. This is just an extra layer of protection, because now we have a Damasteel knife with a double edge, or double and a swedge. So yeah, really need to be careful not to stick into your hand. First thing I'm doing is putting the knife in at the back. There's like between shells there is a small opening where you need to wiggle inside, and this is really a delicate job, because if you go a bit off, then you'll break open the oyster. And you can see that I'm actually inside, and I can cut open the muscle of the oyster, which closes the shell. And there we have it, one completely opened oyster. Yes, I'm inside. And the knife blade goes in. Here's the muscle attached. Try to cut it off like this. Ta-da! And look what a beautiful oyster there is in this shell. It's really nice. It's full of meat. There is a lot of, yeah, it's really nice quality this year. Sweet. And you can see it. Knife still completely intact. Tip hasn't rolled.
even though it's very sharp, but it's just marvelous. It looks well, doesn't seem to be scratched, so that's good, because then it's longevity. You'll see the damage pattern. And now I'm gonna put it under some ballastol, because saltwater oysters are really bad for your knife if you don't do anything against it. So a bit of ballastol should be enough. So you could definitely serve your oysters like that, with a bit of lemon on top and some pepper, but we're gonna make oysters à gratin, which means oysters, and then you add some onion, garlic butter and cheese, and you put them in the oven for half an hour, and they're like mwah. I don't love oysters that much, but oysters à gratin or gratinated oysters, I really like it. So the next step in making this delicious recipe is cutting an onion. Since I don't have a YouTube cooking show, I have absolutely nothing to say about cutting onions, except for make small snippets and don't cut your fingers. So the next step is adding garlic butter. You need quite a lot of it, so it's not a well-suited recipe for work lunches, etc. But I'm using this much, and it isn't rocket science. You just need a lot of butter. Just putting the butter into the oven with the microwave and making the butter just a bit soft, making it easier to mix. You don't want it liquid, but just like this. You can mash it around and you can mix it. So now I'm adding the onions to the garlic mixture, the garlic butter mixture, and then you mix it. So one of the final steps of these oysters à la gratin is adding the garlic butter into the oysters. So you need to get a bit of butter and onion to each oyster. And it's not that difficult. You just put some in, and later on you'll get the taste where the salt of the oyster combines with the cheese and the butter and the garlic. So I like more butter and garlic, but if you want to taste more oyster, then you need a bit less. It's all based on your own taste. And now I'm gonna take this one out, put that in the oven. Putting the oysters in the oven. Let's take a look inside. Yeah, they're getting there. This is really a fun afternoon. Making oysters, testing my new Damasteel knife. Really fun. But now it's time to eat one. So it's lunchtime. You eat this by getting the oyster out of the shell, scraping off the cheese because the cheese is important. I'll try to eat it in 2 bites. And then you eat it like that. And you'll especially want to break the bread and soak it in the mixture of water and garlic butter. That's absolutely tasty. So I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be offering this oyster knife for sale, so if you want one, come and visit my website. So thank you very much for watching, and I wish you the best.